If you're not careful and you no clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the back rooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise and fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you. That's the post that started it all, the topic of today's discussion. Hello, audience. I'm Mystic, and today I'm joined by, of course, my lovely boyfriend, Blaze.
Hello.
And today we're starting a new little series that I'm calling or explaining blank to my boyfriend. And blank can literally be anything. He actually chose today's topic of discussion to be the backrooms. So, Hun, why don't you tell us all what you know about the backrooms?
Well, mostly from what I know, mostly from what we have talked about before, little bits, and also from the game, of course, Escape the Backrooms. We haven't played the other Backrooms game, so I feel like that'd be interesting. Um, but I know of most of the monsters inside the game, somewhat. Um, as well as dangers, though, as Mystic knows, they're not a full depiction of the actual back rooms themselves, which are different.
Yeah. Uh, so I actually think that that's a great jumping off point for our first topic of discussion, the backrooms cannons, as they're called. Cannons are described by the Backrooms wiki as, quote, when wandering throughout the backrooms, some things may simply not make sense. A note from an unknown source documenting destruction, a level which feels too reminiscent of certain events. No matter what, it's impossible to deny the fact that stories exist. It's not that we don't acknowledge these stories and events. It's the fact that they dip into each other, shatter each other's tales, breaking away at what founded those stories in the first place. They break laws established early on, and they show no indication of stopping. Canons basically are different events and stories that have either happened in the backrooms, happened in an alternate reality of the backrooms, or what have you. So basically, I think Brugli from YouTube put it best. When he said that backrooms cannons, really anything can be a backrooms cannon when you think about it. It's all about what your perspective of the backrooms is, and maybe some cannons look at that and you really enjoy how they approach it, so you fall into that canon. But technically, everything is and is not canon in the backrooms, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for the part, I'd say it makes sense.
There are a few well-known ones, but I think the most important canon to talk about right now is the Kane Pixels canon, and the Kane Pixels canon is the one from the found footage on Kane Pixels channel, and it involves like corrupt corporate entities and winding labyrinths and stuff like that.
And that one, is that the one with Meg in it? Or is that the other one?
It's the one with Async.
Facing.
You probably haven't seen the found footages. If y'all want to see him watch Game Pixel's found footage, like the video and subscribe. We'll do that at some point. but it's so different because it doesn't use any levels or anything from any other lore. Because Kane, when he first made the Backrooms found footage, all he knew about was the 4chan post. He didn't know about anything else.
Did good on it though, for how much he had.
I know, right? So instead of talking about all these individual canons, I think we'll first start with the Wanderers. Wanderer is a commonly accepted term for people in the backrooms. You can call them wanderers, survivors, uh, whatever you want to call them. They're just people who have wound up in the backrooms from the front rooms. And no matter what canon you follow, these wanderers have to traverse through certain levels and will wind up meeting up with certain groups. So, uh, could you tell me what are some of the major groups you know of from the backrooms, hun?
I do remember, like, we do through any cannon or just the normal
Any
cannon.
canon. Any canon.
Meg. Then there's party goers, party poopers, if you call them a group.
Those are entities.
Yeah. I think Meg's really the only one that I know then.
Okay, cool. So you're going to be learning something today. Uh, Meg, also known as the Major Explorers Group, is of course the major players in the backrooms. They're like the big boys. Their whole goal is to find a way out of the backrooms. That's their whole goal, to find an escape.
Because then there's that. Is that the only group in that canon?
As of right now, yes, but Meg, in nor in normal canons where Meg appears, Meg is not wiped out like it is in that game. They have regiments, Meg teams. They have regiments that are literally designated with like rescues, raids, level keys, entity removal, frontline explorers, mapping, civil aid, communications, and more. And they have bases all over the backrooms from level 1 to level 195, all the way up to 230, 283.
Jesus Christ.
They have bases and outposts all over, and usually when there's a unknown thing going on, they try to establish a camp on that level. And sometimes they work with other groups throughout the backrooms, but more commonly it's just Meg operatives.
Right.
And because they're so prevalent, a lot of Wanderers view Meg as helpful because they're all over the backrooms and they always welcome Wanderers into their bases.
Which is a nice thing. Even though, they never know if it's an actual person or if it's a,
They do.
skin stealer.
They do. Act.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they have almond water showers at some bases that will straight in some cannons on some bases they have almond water showers when you come in. So like as you walk through the gate, they'll shower you down with almond water. Uh Wretches and skid stealers tend to get agitated from that.
I I do wonder with that because we did see in Escape the Backrooms the one level that we did have the shower. What happens to a skin stealer if it goes into that shower?
From what I've heard, all it does is remove the disguise. Like
At least it does that at least, so that they make sure to get it out of there.
recently though, Meg has been dealing with a far worse entity. I don't remember what the official name for it is, but it can shapeshift into people and perfectly sound like people. and has just been blending in with outposts. They're not hostile or anything. They've just been living amongst the people. And the moment they're found out, they kind of run the fuck away.
It doesn't that doesn't sound that bad then.
But there's a few other groups. There is the BNTG, or Backrooms National Trade Group, as they're called. The BNTG is the second biggest player in the Backrooms, as the BNTG has outposts and trading centers, again, all the way up to 283. Basically, if there is a meg base on a level, unless that meg base is dedicated to eradicating something on that level or exploring and mapping out the level, there's
Right?
probably a BNTG base there.
Well, that is good to always put a base up with a trading post.
Their biggest base is, of course, Trader's Keep on level 1, and it's said to be like a small city. They even have food, weapons, aid, fire, security, and police departments there. Uh, but they have outposts on level 2, level 230, level 10, level 283, a plastic mine on level 24, uh, the arena on level 998.2, level 13 as well. And this is just the ones from the wiki got. They have bases everywhere. Basically, if a level isn't claimed by Meg, it might be claimed by the BNTG.
Oh, that kind of sounds reasonable at least.
Yeah, if people can at least survive on the level, chances are there's either Meg or BNTG there. But they're not the only groups in the back rooms.
How so?
You also have the followers of Jerry.
God, I remember that. I remember the followers of Jerry.
The followers of Jerry have the symbol of Jerry as their flag. They have a few, special people as their representative, but it all boils around Jerry. Jerry is from a level known as Jerry's Room. That's what it's been called because the followers of Jerry are the only people who have been there and come back. That level is basically a place full of birds. Jerry is the only blue macaw, though. The rest are like owls and stuff like that. And all of them have this effect where if you see them, you start feeling an overwhelming urge to just start worshiping them.
Yeah, I can't believe seeing that. Just seeing a freaking bird being
The followers of
worshipped like that.
Jerry worship Jerry. But unlike followers of the other birds, which start getting real fanatical and purge the heretics level, the followers of Jerry are actually pretty nice with other people as long as you don't disrespect Jerry and their religion.
Just attack everybody that says anything bad about Jerry.
They will try to convince you to join their religion, but if you politely decline, they won't outright attack you. They will just respond with something like, "Eek, it's okay. We were skeptical at first too," or "You'll come around in due time." They're not outright hostile, at least not in my own personal idea. Some people paint them out as like crazy people attacking everybody on sight, and just I don't see them as that. There are people like that, but some of the other groups of the backrooms aren't really major players. I bring up the followers of Jerry because they have worked with Meg in attempts of establishing bases on some of the negative levels, and they do work with Meg, and they trade frequently with the BNTG.
That is interesting because then it's they have it. Would you say like more? Would you say like more easier going down into the negative levels?
Not really. When we get to some of the enigmatic levels, I will tell you the fate of one of their outposts that they tried to establish with Meg. But
Okay.
I will say that one should not feel apprehensive upon meeting the followers of Jerry. They'll offer you almond water if you ask. Uh, but there's a few other minor groups that are very level specific, such as the lifeguards on level 57, the pool rooms.
I don't think we saw them in the games.
They're not in the games.
Oh,
Uh,
hopefully you put them in.
or level 5's hap or Homie Hotel, I think it's called. It's either Homie Hotel or Happy Hotel. They literally run a hotel service on level 11 and level 5.
Oh, that was in that hotel, wasn't it?
Yep,
Like in the game. Was that one in the game?
level 5 Terror Hotel.
Because if I remember correctly, I remember seeing somebody behind this counter in that level.
Yeah,
That probably.
and then you have other small groups. The Knights of Argos are people that follow Argos around, and Argos is an entity that protects people who have not, quote, sinned.
Would you wonder if if we'd actually find that?
The Drone Squad, they map out levels using drones. You have Radical Radio, which is like a bunch of teenagers dressed up like they're from the 70s running a 70s radio show.
I do wonder if like those people came through in the 70s and just never, left that style.
It's theorized that you don't age in the back rooms unless the back rooms decides to age you.
Yeah, so they could have just come in the 70s and, just decided to just chill in the 70s style.
But I think now is a great time to move on to entities.
Right, here we go. More freaky part.
Entities is where things get a little convoluted because some people feel like entities shouldn't exist in the backrooms, that the terror of the backrooms is the idea of being trapped in these never ending halls permanently alone. Other people have thoughts on how certain entities should work and how they shouldn't work, but I'm pretty sure you know most of the popular entities, if I'm correct.
Yeah, we got the skin stealers, we have the hound, of course, that thing's fucking ugly. We got the death moths, we have both male and female. Um, we have, God, what others did they have? They had the massive fish in the swimming level.
The thing on level 7.
Is that what it's actually called?
Yeah, that's literally what it's called. The thing on level 7.
And then, of course, we had Smilers, if I don't remember if I said that one. We had the Wretches.
Yep.
Oh, we had what was the name of the thing with the eyeball that had the tentacles?
Oh, the neighborhood watch.
That's what it was. We had all those. They didn't really have a lot of entities in the game. It did have, said it earlier, party poopers, the party poopers, the party goers, and the party hosts. Remember those? I don't remember much else that was in the game.
The clump also appeared. It's the one that chased us
Yeah, and yeah, that freaking thing.
at the
That
windows.
oh yeah, and the spider thing.
I
That was also in the Windows one. Or was that big spider?
I remember, but I don't remember what it was called. Uh,
Hmm.
I will say there are a lot of entities in the backrooms, 900 plus,
Crazy.
and most things are described as entities. A few notable mentions aside from what you said, I would say are dullers. Dullers are terrifying actually.
Colors.
Dullers or strange creatures found on lower levels of the backrooms. They appear dark gray and humanoid and lack several prominent features, such as a face or ears. They run away from anything that gets too close, but they are hostile, and it hunts by being in a hall and having people on the other side of the wall. So basically, if you are on one side of a wall and you are running parallel to another hallway, they will
Mhm.
reach through the wall and pull you through and kill you.
Damn. Also, how could I have forgotten this? The spaghetti monster in the literal level 0.
The Howler.
How that's what it's called? With how much it screams, it works.
In the game, it's called the Howler. To fans of Game Pixels, it's called the Bacteria.
Yeah. And then that's also another one that I forgot. The bacteria in the pool rooms.
Yep. There's so many entities, we would be here all day talking about them. Uh, to everyone watching, I actually really recommend checking out this video by Brugly. If you want to know about like a ton of entities, no matter what canon they're from, check out the video that he made called Explaining Every Entity of the Backrooms. It's like, I think last I checked, it was like 2 hours long, but it goes through like a bunch of the key things from the back room. Oh, speaking of which, I don't think you mentioned the Bone Thief.
Bone thief.
You remember that level in Escape the Backrooms where we had to teleport from one version of level 0 to another version of level 0?
Yes. Yes, it had the area on the ground where it was like it was glitched so you could
Yep.
fall through.
Yep.
What about
That
that one?
that big thing that would kill you if you tried to run across
Oh,
before we closed
y-
the gate, that was a Bone
yes,
Thief.
the big like duck looking thing with the eyeballs in the mouth.
Yeah, in canon, it literally sucks out your bones.
Jeez.
But
That's like there weren't that many entities in the game so far. Much new ones.
yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see on that. Maybe I'll do a review of it on the channel.
Yeah.
Speaking of levels, though, I think it's time to move on to the final segment, levels.
Oh god.
There are a ton of levels, but I'm pretty sure you already know all of the well-known ones, correct?
I think so. At least the ones that, have been in the game at least.
Yeah, that's pretty much all of them. Uh, but levels come in three forms: positive levels, negative levels, and enigmatic levels. Positive levels go all the way up to the positive integer limit, and these levels, while they can be dangerous, they tend to space out some safe levels here and there for you to, like, quote, catch a breath. But don't be fooled because some of these levels you'll enter and then you can never leave.
That's good to know.
Enigmatic levels are levels we don't fully understand, and they're not connected in a normal way to the rest of the Backrooms complex. For example, level fun. Level fun seems to connect to whatever level it wants whenever it wants, and is just full of party poop or partygoers. And finally, negative levels go all the way up to the negative integer limit, though there is a level positive infinity and a level negative infinity.
But I hope we never have to deal with that.
These levels are much more dangerous than their positive counterparts. For example, level negative 0 is a lot more dangerous than level 0. But the most popular levels, level 0, everyone knows level 0.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna remember that one because it's the lead at what you start on.
Level 4, the abandoned offices, is pretty popular.
Oh, definitely. That's like everyone's spot to go back to fill up.
Level 7 is well known just because of the thing on level 7.
Yeah, that is true.
5, level 10, level 11, the city. A few more popular ones would be like the pool rooms, level
Yeah.
1 for your life,
Yep. And fun. Definitely fun.
level you cheated.
I'd be surprised if a lot of people know about that one, since you literally have to cheat in the back rooms to get it.
Well, a lot of people have gone there, and it's actually been found out that it's part of a interconnected series of levels called the Game Zone. Basically,
Ooh,
entities, the game makers, when you get sent to their level and you play because you pressed play on a game, you get sent to a level called the stage where you have to run through this maze collecting weapons and stuff as you go and try to beat a boss in the center. If you beat the boss, you go to level you win. If you cheat at the maze, you go to level you cheated, and if you die, you have 3 attempts, and then you get sent to level, oh, game over.
damn.
It's crazy. I really recommend reading up on some levels at some point because they're pretty cool.
Yeah, we could probably, like, they and me could probably watch the series that you were talking about, and I'll, on the screen should be a playlist name for the person's name for the playlist that you were talking about.
Yeah. Uh, so before we go, do you got any questions?
So, is the hub an actual thing in Backrooms, or is that just in the Escape the Backrooms?
Okay, the hub is a sublevel of level 1. It can be accessed from any level pretty much as long as you find a door to it. But from there, you can access any level you want. In fact, the hub is the only way of accessing certain levels.
Damn, that is interesting. That's like an actual thing in all of Backrooms lore is the hub area.
It's commonly accepted, but some takes on the backrooms don't have it. For most versions of the backrooms, the hub is the thing.
Yeah, because it makes it interesting though, and then it's like, is it if you could just say like you find like the entrance on one, couldn't you just go to like Infinite Plus, or do you
Some
have to have been there?
some some people say you could just go straight to whatever level you want. Other people say you have to have been there, and yet others say that you need a level key. So really, it depends on what version of it you're following. For me, I think you could just go there.
Yeah, it that makes the most sense though, because I can also see why they'd say like you have to have been there or you need a key, because then like just say somebody found the exit out of the back rooms and then just like leave a note, and then everyone just starts going there, even if they've just gotten there. They find it and they're like, okay, I'll just go to this level and leave.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point, because the back rooms, they say like the back rooms is kind of like alive, because that's how it gets. Like you cheat on this, and it knows you've cheated.
Hmm.
So it's like I would say like at that point, the back rooms would either change something or change itself.
Yeah, that is true. Any other questions before we head out?
I don't think so, though. I do say at some point we should, if everyone thinks so, play us inside the back rooms. From what I've seen, it's one, it's everyone knows about it, and two, I'd say it kind of seems right from how it looks and the gameplay. It seems like it's,
I gotcha.
I don't know how close it is to what the actual lore is. Like if it's more like it or not. 'Cause in that game, at least it shows, hey, there have been people here. While on inside the backrooms, you could be like the first one you don't even know. But inside the backrooms, like they show bodies and stuff that show, hey, this people have been here. They're just dead.
Yeah.
And from it looks, more like what you would say is the canon.
We'll we'll see how it is. But for our next conversation like this, I think I'm going to be going over Starship Troopers and the Federation from that game. So if you guys want to check that out, remember to subscribe, and we'll be back uh, after next week.